Here we
Oh,
are. We're live.
Hello,
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everyone.
Exactly.
Surprise live streaming.
We're just we're here together for this improvised live stream, just to celebrate January 1st, or I should say after the celebrations of January 1st and the night of the 31st. Now that we've calmed down, we've rested a bit. We're just here to sort of chat maybe a little bit about what we did, where we've been, and for everyone in the audience, if you want to share with us what you've done for New Year's, how you celebrated, let us know. And we'd like to talk a little bit about 22, the year that has ended, and 2023, the year that has just begun. What are your goals? What are your hopes and expectations for this year that has just started? Francesco, Anna, do you want to start us off? How did you celebrate the end of the 22 season, I like to call it?
We celebrated the New Year 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
How is that? What do you mean?
I mean fourth. There was the New Year, Chinese New Year, Russian New Year, Italian New Year, because the every country has a different New Year timing, and so we had to celebrate with our friends here on the salon. And the last one was the Dallas New Year,
Dallas time.
and after we had the Californian New Year, and so
also you celebrated live with all these people in all these different places.
It's a no-stop celebration.
Yeah.
But let's chat a little bit. What about your first day of the new year? What about your goals, your reflection on the past year? Let's chat a little bit.
What have you accomplished today on January 1st?
Today, sleeping.
Hi, Ivan.
Hello,
Hello,
Ivan.
Ivan.
Yeah.
Sorry,
New
I
Year.
couldn't reply to your message, Ivan. But we were working on this live stream, and write in the comment. I will write you here in the comment.
So it was a very productive morning.
Very productive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You recovered from the
Overslept.
celebrations of the night before.
Can you repeat, please?
I said you managed, what you accomplished was you recovered from the celebrations of the night before.
Yeah.
No, actually, the last part of our celebration was
Be sincere.
we've been in center in the downtown of Dallas, and it was pretty crazy. I mean, we stayed in the traffic jam for I don't know how many hours, but anyway, it was very, very beautiful New Year evening.
Was there lots of activity in downtown Dallas?
We don't know. We didn't celebrate it there. We were just passing through.
But exactly.
But it seems like that.
I've seen the live streaming with Katya. How did you spend the time? Tell us.
Yeah, it was like last minute organized event.
Yeah, this was the third. The third New Year celebration of the.
Yeah, so we just visited them in their house in Fort Worth, and it was a lot of fun. We stayed there
movies.
watched some Christmas movies or New Year's movies. And
what's your favorite Christmas movie, Anna?
Oh, my favorite Christmas movie is While You Were Sleeping.
I don't know this movie. Is it a classic that
Me
I'm
too.
ignorantly not aware of?
It's the movie with the Sandra Bullock, and I don't remember the name of the actor. But so it's an old movie. So if I will just narrate the plot, I will not spoil too much. So basically, there is a girl. She's working in a subway of Chicago. And Sandra Bullock's character and her name is Lucy, and she lives with her cat. She's like, her parents already passed away a long time ago, so she's kind of lonely, and she's the only one of the the working group that everybody is asking to work over the holidays, because she's the only one who doesn't have a family to celebrate with. And there is one guy who is like, from time to time passing, and buys the coins from her. Though, those tokens you use to pass through the, to the subway. And so he looks very handsome, rich, and so she kind of decides for herself that is her Prince Charming. She secretly fall in love with him, not even knowing his name and who he is, nothing. And so on a New Year's or a Christmas day, I think there was like empty platform, so he came. And she was like, she was trying to say something to him, but she was so shy that she should. I think he asked her something, or said Merry Christmas or something, and she was like, she was amazed that he spoke to her. Anyway, so long story short, he was attacked by some, robbers, and and they pushed him off the platform, and so he lost the conscience. And there was like the train was approaching, and so she saved his life. But he didn't really. So they took him to the hospital, and so as she was the only one on the platform who witnessed it and who saved his life, she followed the ambulance. So in the hospital, because they didn't allow her to see him because she was not a member of the family, she in a lobby for herself, she's like, oh, I was gonna marry him, and the nurse heard it, and she's like, oh, it's his fiance, so she said to the doctor, let her see him. And so the family arrived, his family, like all, the mother and father and the sister and the uncle. So they were all like, oh my god, what happened? And so the nurse introduced Lucy to them as that guy, his name is Peter's fiance. And so the whole story starts like how she gets to know his family, and that they all fall in love with her, that she's like so adorable, such a great girl. And then the younger brother arrived to celebrate the Christmas with the family, and he got suspicious about this girl because like she didn't look like Peter's type of girl. So he started his like little investigation, and he got to know her better, and so she got to know him. So at the end, while that one was sleeping, these two fall in love.
No, really?
Yeah, and after Peter woke up, they introduced her to him like his fiancée, and he's like, oh, I don't remember her. I remember everything else, but I don't remember her. And they were like, you will remember her. Like, you just, you have the amnesia. And so Peter believed that, Lucy is the girl of his life. And so he was going actually marry her. And then right there in the hospital, but she already fell in love with his brother. And so there was like the classical Sandra Bullock scene where she is like during the marriage, she is talking to the father of the family. She did the same scene in I think the movie called The Proposal with the Ryan Reynolds. So she said, I'm in love with your son, and he's like, yes, I know. She's like, not with this one, with that one.
Oh gosh, really?
It's a very, very, very lovely movie. I loved it. I love it, and I always like to watch it whenever it's a Christmas or not Christmas. So
it definitely sounds like a very interesting movie, although I'm unsure of how I would classify it. Like, what is the genre exactly?
It's a romantic comedy or something.
Romantic comedy, yes. Kind of rom-com.
I see. Okay.
But all the story happened around Christmas time, so
Mhm.
that's why I said it's a Christmas movie.
Ah, okay.
By the way, we have
I'm done
an answer from
with
Ivan about his plans for the new year, maybe. Although there are some typos, Ivan, please be more careful because we have trouble understanding what you wrote.
We have
Do
an
any of you-
Eibach upright piano. Eibach? What is Eibach? Maybe Weinbach. And I would love to restore it.
He's talking
Ah,
about the brand.
Ah. Yeah.
So please
What-
specify. in the
Francesco, what
comments.
is your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie.
Mm.
Actually, it's not a Christmas movie, but the Christmas story is Christmas Carol.
Ah,
Wow.
I like it
Ah.
too. Yeah.
That's
Christmas Carol.
very,
Carol.
very, very beautiful. Very beautiful. Every
I can
Christmas
love
I want
this story.
to read or watch a movie about that story because it's very, very, very.
Is there
Not only touching, but it's makes. There are a lot of
Think.
things to think about.
Right. Is there any content that any of you watch kind of in the background? Like, is there any piece of content? This could be like a movie or a TV show that sometimes you just like to leave on the TV as you're doing other stuff. Something that you.
We don't have TV.
Take your
No.
TV and throw it on the on.
Well, when
throw
I
it
say
in the
TV, I mean
trash.
screen of any kind. You know, it could be like. your
I
laptop, or it
I
could be-
like the Big Bang Theory. I think I watched all the 12 how you
Seasons.
call it seasons. Yeah, I think at least 3 times.
Guys, I'm feeling like an alien because I don't watch this
doesn't,
kind of
doesn't watch
content.
TV shows.
I don't.
Yeah.
But you watch like this Game of Thrones and
you're right,
Vikings and those kind of your
But
top things.
no, exactly. But actually, I can proudly say that in my life I've seen just 4
Why
TV
proudly?
series.
Why are you shaming people who love TV shows? I don't
No,
like this term.
no. It's my way of living. It's not. I'm not judging anyone. I think this is crystal clear. But I basically watch only something that really touch me
Captivates you,
or
yeah.
captivates my attention, and then but really
So
that can
mainly
be
fantasy, though. You mentioned Game of Thrones.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of girl who can watch Christmas movie or something like this, and
My
I'm feeling like a
So-
little bit
so
like an
screw you
alien.
guys.
Yeah.
My
You Christmas movie
recommendation
loving.
is to take the TV and throw it away. Throw it away.
Well, but
Yeah,
hold on, Francesco. Hold on a sec, because I know that lots of on TV you find lots of garbage. Absolutely,
Mhm.
100%. But
true.
a TV is just a window. It's just a window through which you can consume content, and this content can be an amazing movie. Are you telling me that you dislike the movies and the art form that is cinematography as a whole?
Absolutely not.
No,
Well,
I think
okay,
he's
there you go.
talking about the
So you
fact
need a
that
TV to watch those.
no, I think that he's talking about the fact that TV is a very controlled,
What I
Right,
would like
sure.
to say is that I would like to have the control of what I consume.
exactly.
Of course. Well, then
In the
get Netflix
TV
and you can decide what to watch.
But I understand what you mean. But it's like having the TV. I know that I can go and search for what I want, but also there are a lot of things that you cannot control. So what
External
I like,
influences, yeah.
Hmm?
Content that is pushed on you.
it's
But
like the
this is
smoking. When you smoke,
like passive smoking, yeah.
passive smoking, exactly.
This is an interesting point of view.
when I go home, there are TVs, and it's like smoking, passive smoking. The same thing. I prefer to read a book or to go and search on the computer exactly what I want.
Mhm.
So, for example, now, especially with these reels or these shorts in YouTube,
YouTube Shorts,
yes,
Instagram
or
Reels, yeah.
in TikTok, what the system actually wants from you is that you move your thumb
Keep scrolling.
like
Sure.
this.
Yeah, it's
Actually, you are
dopamine.
not thinking what you want. You are only
So-
eating what
Yeah.
the system is putting
Mindlessly
in your
consuming.
head. And so I don't like this thing because they want
Have
you
you-
to stay there. And so I want to have the
Absolutely.
absolute control of what I
Let's
consume.
be careful about criticizing these platforms too harshly because we are using some of them to stream.
Yes,
have
exactly.
you seen the documentary The Social Dilemma, Francesco?
The social dilemma, no.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I highly recommend The Social Dilemma. Antonia, I think you've seen it.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah. Then you'll.
And
I think you'll agree.
it's something very,
Very
tough
powerful.
to
Yeah.
see. Very powerful, yeah.
100%. It's. I think it's really the right documentary for you. You have to watch it. I think.
I
for
will
the-
go
for our next
immediately and watch it.
live stream. Yeah.
I hope
And,
also you friends
let's
here
see.
listening here.
Right, for
Go
for
watch
everyone
this
in the audience,
documentary.
if you have not seen the documentary called The Social Dilemma, I watched it originally on Netflix. I don't know if it's like an original Netflix documentary or if it was available on Netflix. Maybe it still is. I don't know. Go check. But yeah, The Social Dilemma. It's an amazing documentary, very powerful about how social media is designed, essentially, about how it has been designed to capture people's
You
attention
know that I've seen this.
and keep us glued to it. And
Yeah.
there are so many aspects that we kind of don't think about day to day as we use social media that are designed to make sure that we spend as much time as possible on these platforms. And while of course I do believe social media has lots of upsides, it can be very useful for many things. It's also true that nowadays, especially young people, are addicted to social media because, no wonder on the other side of that screen there are thousands of engineers whose job it is to make sure that you spend as much time as possible on these platforms. So yeah,
Exactly.
But
Go watch
we can have this kind of dynamics also considering TV. For example, actually 1 hour ago, I was at the phone with a close friend who was telling me about a girl who could not sleep without the background noise of the TV. I cannot imagine which kind of information her subconscious can absorb during the night. It's like you are constantly exposing yourself also during sleep to this, kind of information, and reaching this level in which you cannot sleep without the background of the TV. For me, it's impressive.
You know what, Nicola? You are talking about this social dilemma documentary. Now that I think about it, yes, I've seen it. And the fact that you are saying that there are engineers behind that are trying to find the best possible way to make you become part of the TV or part of the, the telephone becomes your a part of your arm. And so it must become super addictive, as much addictive as possible. I say for example, to my students that they want to understand how to work online with classical music. What I try to tell them is that you have to develop a phone addiction. But what do I mean by that? Phone addiction not as a content consumer, but as a content creator. So always produce content, good quality content. What we are trying here to do, Sound of Music, is to give high quality content because there is so much garbage everywhere that
it's important to add the high quality content that is classical music. Right.
Exactly.
I agree with you. If you go on YouTube, honestly, I'm sick and tired of all of these, all the very low quality content that you find on social media nowadays. The nth vlog with no, true passion and soul to it. All the nth travel video, all this stuff. And instead, this is why here at La Salon de la Musique, we want musicians, classical musicians, who are, in terms of skill, I believe the most skilled musicians
Top
in the
quality.
world. Exactly, the ones with the greatest preparation and all of that. We want them to create as well, and this is a message that in institutions is not given to classical musicians, and so maybe we're here to fulfill that role, to tell classical musicians to put
I
themselves
think
out.
Exactly. I think this is a strong message that we must express here at Le Salon de la Musique to our musicians friends. Express yourself. Express yourself. Create content. Don't have blockages or fears. No matter what. Express your talent. Express your feelings. Express your skills. And I think. From this point of view, social media can be an incredible tool if
a very positive one.
Use
Exactly.
the social media not being you and not be used by social media.
Exactly. It's like using social media in a proactive way, not just
Exactly.
being a victim and absorb passively all this kind of information without critical analysis. Yeah, exactly.
By the way,
What you just
Antonia,
said,
how did you spend New Year's Eve?
Oh, for me, it was a very, let's say, romantic New Year Eve, because I host my parents in my new apartment, and it was, I basically actually is
When you said romantic, I think that our listeners were expecting something else.
No, guys, come on. Romantic is not just about lovers or romantic relationship. I have a very close relation with Francesco knows it. We have a very close and strong relationship with our parents, and for me it was really a joy, a pleasure to organize the Christmas and organize the New Year event. And I brought them in a wonderful villa here near in Milan. Its name is Villa Borromeo, and it's a fantastic villa in which they were celebrating. The organization was celebrating the New Year. The dinner was amazing. We were spending time together, and for me it was really, really a joy. And I missed you so much, Anna and Fred. Really.
come here to Dallas.
Come here to Dallas, yeah.
Come here to Dallas.
Okay, but I was talking about this celebration in Villa Borromeo, and really in that situation, I felt that something was.
I know. We miss you too. We miss you too, but imagine.
I'm getting emotional. No.
Imagine one time the only possibility is to write letters and wait months.
Yeah.
Somebody replies you, and now you can talk here, together with so many friends around the world, and so technology.
And speaking of, by the way, if anybody in the audience wants to share a bit of what they did on New Year's Eve, please tell us in the comments.
Yeah, let's share a little bit. We want to know more about you.
Absolutely. So, about technology.
Go on, Francesco. Sorry.
No, I said the technology can be really toxic, but if it's used in the right way, is something that really we really can.
We can benefit.
Be useful for exactly. We can benefit from it a lot, especially musicians.
Technology is a tool, so
as a tool,
every tool can be used to create or to destroy. A hammer can be used to hurt yourself or other people, or it can be used to build a house in which you and other people can live. So,
exactly.
But I wanted to also ask the audience, and I'll ask you guys in a second, if they have any sort of, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but any New Year's resolutions, which I like to think of, I like to conceive as something that you needn't exclusively think about on New Year's Eve. I think it's good to make plans and create goals that you can decide to act on at any point throughout the year. But definitely the end of a calendar year is a time for reflection. This reflection comes, I think, almost naturally to everyone. And so I pass this question on to the audience. In the meantime, I'll ask you guys, Anna, Francesco, Antonia, what are do you have any goals, any resolutions for this? Again, I like to call it season 3, the 20s season 3.
season 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 2003.
Yeah, of course we have a lot of plans, a lot of ideas and projects for the upcoming year, and we hope we will like be able to complete them all. Of course, we know that it can be both ways. It can be possible, it can be impossible, but we will put all our efforts to
Share
achieve
share
Yeah.
some of these. What is one that you're particularly excited for?
Francesco.
You're talking with me?
No,
Or
it
sure,
will-
anyone who wants to chime in.
No,
What I actually I don't have a project for the 2023. What I want to do is
Just gonna wing it.
keep learning, learning, and also don't wait at all the come si chiamano I semafori, Michael?
Traffic lights.
Traffic lights.
Traffic lights are all of them green. So this is what I would like to tell to my
All right.
friend: keep going and learn by doing it, and don't wait that all the lights become.
So don't wait for all traffic lights to be green. Just seize the moment. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Especially
Exactly.
so on this note, right? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Actually, there's an interesting thought that I heard recently about this. So very often when it comes to starting something new, whatever it may be, whether it's a new work project or whether it's a new diet or whatever it is that people want to start, often what you'll hear is, oh, right now I'm very busy, so I'm just waiting for the right moment. And this is an objection that I dislike. That I dislike a lot because if you wait, because on the surface it makes sense, right? I'm very busy right now, so I'm just going to wait for the right moment so that I can start this new project or goal or whatever. But here's the thing: if you wait for the time that you're quote unquote not busy, then even if that happens, which as we all know, that rarely happens because as an adult, your life is just this never-ending waterfall of new things that you have to do, and so there's never really a point where your bucket of things to do is empty. So even if that did happen, let's imagine that at a certain point in a couple of weeks, now you have a moment of calm, there's not as much to do, and you say, okay, now I'm going to start this new project. Fantastic. So you start the new project, and of course, inevitably, there comes a time when, once again, you have lots of other things to do. You're very busy again. And so if you started your new habit, your new project, whatever, when you were not busy, then inevitably you will stop when you are busy once again. So is it not the case that the best time to start something new, whether it's, I don't know, like a new diet, an exercise plan, a new work project, whatever, is precisely when you are already busy? Because that way, if you are able to start this new thing when you are already busy, you are making
you can
it sort of
sustain it.
resilient.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're making resilient to any new circumstances that might present themselves.
Exactly.
It works completely opposite with me. When I have like plenty of time, I cannot start anything. When I have like no time, like, literally no time, like I find the windows in my schedule like to squeeze something that I need to do like very very urgently. But when I have like the whole day, I usually like waste it.
But why waste it? You use it.
Leonard Bernstein's quote: "Having a project, a genial plan, and having not enough time."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what? Actually, time, we can find time everywhere. I was talking with one friend of mine a few minutes ago and yesterday about the fact that it's how important it is to read new content, new books, new material, always search for new teachers, and but I
New
don't have time. How can I practice for I practice 12 hours for competitions. How can I find the time to read something? And if I spend my time reading, maybe somebody else that is practicing more, like in this rat race, will take what I want, my illusion, my carrot. There is always.
Can I just pause you right there, because I want to address the fact that people who say that they study or work 12, 13 hours a day, in this case we're talking about practicing for piano competitions, that isn't exactly true. It's almost impossible for that to be true in the sense that a human being cannot complete focused work for 13 hours a day. It's just humanly impossible. So what is happening is that this person is definitely working very hard. I'm not, or these people, they're working very hard, but the amount of focused work that you can do in a day, you know, is X hours. Maybe it's 5, 6, 7, 8. But once you try to go past that, you just get to a point of diminishing returns. So
it will be unproductive.
But just
Exactly.
a second. Let's say
Go
even
on.
if you practice 12 hours, let's take
Let's imagine
make
this
some math.
possible.
For example, we have 24 hours a day. Okay, let's take 7 hours for sleeping, and we have 17 hours. Let's take,
Yeah, you check that on the
8
calculator.
for example, let's take how many hours for practicing? 8 hours for practicing. You have 9 hours. You have 9 hours. Okay, in 9 hours, you want to take 3 hours to rest. I mean, and watch TV. Okay, 3 hours. We have 6 hours that you take. You put in the toilet.
Where are you right?
Right.
Vera
But-
is saying, yeah, 4 hours are maximum.
Exactly right, Vera. I agree. Focused, and this is there's a book called Deep Work that kind of goes over this principle, and it's true. If you have ever tried to actually learn and study something new, to work really hard in a very focused way, 4 hours is already quite a lot of time if you're doing it intensely. Going beyond that is something that certainly some people can do, but really it's 12 people who say 12 hours. Yeah, maybe you're sitting at the desk for 12 hours and you're twiddling your thumbs, or you're on Facebook for half that time. And then
You
the
know
rest
what
are
I
actually working.
what I understood, that this fact that we are always saying that we don't have enough time, in reality, is a sentence that can hide difficulties in stress management. Most of the time, is something that you cannot handle the fact that you have to shift faster between different tasks.
Okay.
And
I
because
I
also
would say you also have to prioritize this thing in general. Like if I tell you, hey, Antonio, you should dedicate more time to XYZ because this is important. And maybe if you were somebody who is unable to manage this type of stress, because if somebody gives you a quote unquote suggestion, we all know how sometimes we react to quote unquote friendly suggestions. Sometimes it can feel like a bit of an attack, and so the natural response can sometimes be, well, I don't have time.
exactly,
So it's almost like a self-defense mechanism.
and exactly, it's a self-defense mechanism, and we allow ourselves to indulge, in the same activity.
few days ago, Antonia.
Finding excuses that stop us to go in another direction, doing another activity. And I think that we have to be very brave, courage to remain connected to the original plan. If you, I don't know, guys, you have a weekly plan for your activities, or a monthly plan to your activities, be stick on that. And if you feel some friction or stress, to maintain, to be coherent to the plan, go no matter what. Be very stubborn and don't give up.
Antonia,
sweat.
a few days ago, I was talking with another friend, also a musician, and it's really makes me crazy. I showed him all the numbers, doing math, how the traditional way of working as a musician is not effective. It's not actually the right thing to do according to the numbers that they showed. And so working as an employee and practicing the same repertoire, blah, blah, blah. At the end, you know what he told me? You know what? Even if it's true what you say, I am afraid I've been taught how to do things in a certain way, and I did for entire life, for 30 years. For entire life, it's okay. For 30 years, the same thing, the same way, and now you tell me that I have to change.
You
And
know,
so
Brian,
I
you
don't
have
want to
to
change
change.
because I am afraid.
Well, but
Yeah,
I would say, Francesco, fear is a natural reaction. So
exactly.
fear
True.
is something that everybody feels, and then what matters is how you react to that fear. So what I would tell this musician, I don't know if he or she maybe is listening to us right now, is that this fear that you're feeling is absolutely normal, and that what you must do if you want to be successful in your life, and let's define success not just financially, but happiness. Happiness is success. So if
Exactly.
you want to be happy in your life, and in order to be happy, I assume that since you've decided to become a musician, you want to be able to use this craft of yours to earn yourself a living and to be successful, financially enough that you can at least provide for yourself and your family and so on. But so if you want all this to come true, then you have to learn how to overcome this fear. The way that you handle fear is what matters the most. You will never be able to maybe not feel that fear because that's just a human reaction. But what is important is that you're able to handle it and respond.
Exactly.
It's a kind of paralysis.
Hello,
Oh,
hello,
Anthony.
Anthony.
Well,
Happy
Anthony,
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy
New Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Actually, fear can be your best friend. In which sense? It's a very
Oh, yeah.
powerful feedback, and
Mhm.
fear really can empower you. If you convince yourself that you have to stay there and don't move, and going further, considering fear has a normal X factor in your life, I think is a great opportunity for personal expansion, personal growth. Really, you will start to appreciate fear. Yeah.
You're
in
right.
fact, I can add
absolutely
something
right.
to this.
Yeah.
Sorry, Francesco.
What?
No, absolutely no.
No, on the topic of appreciating fear, it sounds like a little cliche, like why the hell should somebody appreciate fear? But I have an answer, at least for myself.
Mhm.
If the idea is that you want to improve as a person, broadly speaking, or in a particular field, whatever it is that you want to do, then you have to imagine that the person that you have to become is not the person that you are at the moment. All right. Then if you understand that when you try to become this new person, you will feel fear, fear becomes a sort of compass. It becomes your guide. Whenever you start to do something that makes you afraid, then you understand that, oh, this activity, because it's making me afraid, it means that it's an activity that is going to turn me into this new person. It's sort of,
Exactly.
let's use this term, killing the old me. It's demolishing the old parts of the old me, and it's creating the new me. So I like to say fear is a compass. It's something
But
that, yeah.
It's true what you say, absolutely. But I would like also to add to this that fear is a kind of, I mean, I'm talking about not the good fear. I'm talking about the virus,
Paralyzing.
the virus that the educational system put in our mind. Always we were afraid of mistakes. If you do a mistake, I will give you a bad grade. Don't make mistake. Do what I told you to do and do it in a certain way. And so they are
And
preparing
do
you
it by yourself.
do it by yourself instead of cooperating. So they are preparing you for, the rat race.
Slavery.
To be an
For
employee.
slavery. So the fact
You-
is, when I say, let's do an example, for example, with investing, and after I put this in music, investing. But it's to invest is risky. I am afraid that I can lose my money, but I don't know any rich man that didn't lose money. Sorry. The mistake is part of a process of improvement. If you don't
Hold
make
on, let's repeat
mistakes,
that again because I think it wasn't clear. So you're saying there is no rich man who hasn't at least once lost money.
exactly.
So the idea is
Exactly.
that you always make a mistake on your way to the top. And by the
Exactly.
way, I think it's a quote from Jim Rohn that I think is worth mentioning if I'm getting that right, which is that if you think investing is risky, wait until you get the bill for not
Exactly.
investing.
Yeah, exactly.
But for example, investing in your education, that is an investment. But I am afraid that I can take time from the practicing routine for competitions. Do you see which kind of mental cage we have? So
It's the inability to control that fear.
exactly. So instead of being paralyzed, start to make a little step out of your comfort zone. You have, come on, we said, even if you practice 12 hours a day, you still have at the end sleeping 7 hours, blah, blah, you have 6 hours that you are throwing into the toilet. And so use
Small
1 hour.
Is that what you're saying? You're saying small increments.
Use 1 hour to start to read new content, to start to search for something different, to ask questions, to question what you've been taught. But maybe I can, if I do this, I will lose time, and so I can fail. It's not like that, guys.
I want to give to our friends a practical way to expand their being, to expand their knowledge, because if we are talking like this, it sounds like something very heavy, very difficult to achieve. It's like we have to change all our life, from scratch. It's not like this.
Absolutely.
Actually, really, it's enough to expose yourself to one different field, to one different information, one per day. I don't know. You are practicing. You have your practice routine. You cannot find the time to expose yourself to one little information related to financial education or related to innovation, technology. Something that can enrich your vision. Just one information. The next day, going deeper or find something more interesting for you, and just one information per day.
So
I think kind
you're
of strategy.
echoing what Francesco was saying. So
Exactly.
whatever you do, just do it gradually. If you want to, maybe now we're talking, you mentioned financial education. If you want to educate yourself from a financial perspective, and so you're a musician and you want to maybe start something new from that perspective, then you don't have to do it all at once. You can start gradually. You can increase day by day, always add something new, go one step further. And to that end, maybe I want to expand on a topic. So let's say that you have a new goal, and the new goal could be that as a musician, you want to start a new business, you want to start whatever it is, a new tour, or maybe your goal could be anything really. It could be that you have a new fitness goal or whatever. The point is that to achieve any of these goals, you're going to need a schedule. You're going to need a routine, right? You're going to need a plan. And very often when I mention this, when I say, whatever it is you want to achieve, maybe I often talk about this from a fitness perspective, right? So if you want to achieve your fitness goals, then you need a schedule, a routine, a plan, etc. The reaction that I get to mentioning this is often very negative, because somehow we have this idea that a schedule or a routine is a prison. It's something external that is imposed upon us. I think, these are memories that date back to when you go to school. When you go to school, your schedule is the schedule that is given, top to bottom. Your teacher, your institution tells you where you need to go, what you need to do, when you have to be there for how long, etc. But here's the thing. Now you're an adult and you can create your own schedule. So the idea is that your schedule is not a prison. It's not a trap. It's something that you create for yourself, exactly how you want it, so that you can achieve your goals.
It's a projection of your being. It's a manifestation of your being.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So
and even if you are
to...
afraid, you don't know how to organize yourself, because I know there are people like myself that they don't know how to organize their time. Hire somebody. and your life will change completely. Hire somebody that will help you to.
But even
to schedule.
somebody will organize the time for you. Then it has to be like your effort also to follow it.
Absolutely.
But what if you will not follow what this person will set up
No,
for you?
that's a
Well, then,
different
and I'll
topic.
answer that. I would say that if this person, in this case, if you hire an external time manager, then what this person should do if they are good at their job is work with you to understand, in this case we're using Francesco as an example, what you, Francesco, want to do / are willing to do, right? Because sometimes I hear people say, oh, this year I'm going to start running, and so I'm going to run 7 times a week, and I run every single day. My reply
10
to them is,
kilometers every day.
exactly. Why does it have to be 7 times a week? Why does it have to be every day? Why can't you just start with 1? If you have to be, in order to create an effective schedule, an effective routine, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to sit yourself down and say, okay, what is it that I want to do that I am actually willing to do? And even if that is very small, that's okay. Start with that. Run 1 time per week for 1 kilometer. I don't care. Run for 100 meters, whatever it may be. And do that. And then increase gradually.
Exactly. It's a starting
How,
point.
how gradually?
It depends on
As
yourself.
gradually as it needs to be. Again, you have to be honest with yourself. So if you run 100 meters, then if next week you can only run 101, then do that. I don't care, because the most important thing is direction. The most important thing is that there is consistent progress. If you make 1% improvements all the time, a year, 2, 3 years from now, you won't believe how far you've gone. I think there's actually a story about this that kind of exemplifies this. And I don't have the details, but it's something about a Tour de France team that was, had been performing very poorly in the last few years, etc. And then what was done to this team was that a whole bunch of changes were made at every single level. So they analyzed the athlete's diet. They analyzed the bicycles, the way the pedals were designed. They analyzed, this and that and aspect of training. They analyzed their sleep, etc. And they optimized all these things. And they made essentially 1 or 2% improvements in all these things, but when they all added up, they made a huge difference, and the team actually ended up winning. That story is a little scarce in details, but I think if you Google it, you might actually find the real life story. But the principle is the same.
I was thinking about a possible goal or for the new year. In my situation, for example, I think it's very important. I have to work on this. I know. For example, I believe I am a very organized and structured person, and I can do this. It's very easy for me. Anna and Francesco know.
I confirm that it is true, and it is not something that you just believe.
But the problem is that I feel that this power to structure stuffs lose power when I am surrounded by people, And my goal
How do
for
you mean?
2023 is to understand, to learn how to maintain this kind of structure also when you are influenced by people that surround you. For example,
Okay, so you're saying, just to be clear, you're saying that you are able to manage your time very well, but you feel that sometimes when you are in an environment that you share with other people,
Exactly.
these other people and their habits, their schedules, etc.,
influence
interfere
your
with your
lifestyle.
Who
Exactly.
me calling you every day? Are you talking about me?
Of course.
No, I know that when no. You can call me whenever you want,
and I just
but
won't
be
pick up.
strict. Say what you want
So
to
next
say,
time I will take an appointment to call my sister.
No. No, but really, I think that I have to work on this. I don't know, but I have to find a solution.
Yeah, me too. I am with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you
I agree.
like whoever first find the way share with the others.
Let's work together because guys, me and Anna, we are a wonderful team. When we work together, we can really achieving results incredibly
Very
fast.
quickly, we understand each other. No?
Yeah,
Okay,
and,
you do this, I do that, and we are like good girls. You know,
Good
if
girls.
I say I will do it, I will do it. If I need to stay whole night up, I will stay the whole night up until I will finish it. Francesca is like, okay, bye, see you next morning. I'm tired.
but no, we are
I feel like I have
partners
to
in
look to
crime.
Francesco to represent the male
partners in
front.
crime.
Francesco, I think, is wisely preserving his energy.
No,
Exactly.
the thing is that I am not so well organized person, but
Mhm.
the fact is that I use a lot of time to create,
To
think,
process.
and after that's what
Like a great chess player, you know.
every
you
business
think about the
needs,
next move,
I
and
can
you just
say.
make one
There is
move, and it's the right one.
Something boiling in his head all the time.
Exactly. Ford was saying do you know the story about
Henry Ford.
Ford that he was, let's say, I don't want to say this, but pretty ignorant, and some of his
Let's say he didn't have a traditional education, maybe.
exactly. So everybody was having fun of him and say, "Ah, you don't know about this thing," or blah 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 blah. And so he said, "Okay, guys, now come to my office, and I challenge you to ask me all kind of questions, and I will be able to answer to everybody, to all of your questions." They started to question him and to ask him questions. He took the phone and calls his assistants. Now, please give an answer to all these gentlemen. So you see, guys, when you are doing certain things, I do my job that is the most difficult one, to think. So that's what he was doing. I don't say that I'm like him, but anyway, I like to think a lot.
Think strategically and not simply possess notions.
Exactly.
No, we are always spending a lot of time, thinking and
I understand.
create,
Everybody has but that's the greatness of having a team. Everybody has
exactly.
his own.
Yeah, I can say that I work better in a team with people who are organized, because that motivates me to stay organized myself. Because I would stay organized for somebody, I would not stay organized for myself. When I am in a team with somebody who is as disorganized as I am, I become like twice as much disorganized.
But just a second.
But
We are talking
I
about
think that
Never-ending
I
spiral.
think that we are working as a team. We are working amazingly because we know each other. I think that the fact that we are part of the same family can be a plus, because we know each other in a very deep way, and we know how to leverage the pros of everybody, and know how to manage also the cons of everybody. And I think this is an incredible plus in a business. Better to say,
But
surrounded by friends.
I was talking also with one of my friends. I don't say his name, but anyway, about everybody has $1 million idea, and how can I do it? How can I do it? You cannot do it. I mean, to do something, I don't know any great person in the world, even Jesus Christ had i 12 apostoli, come si chiamano
The disciples.
disciples. You need a team. If you start to criticize what your colleagues or the team team colleague is doing because you are not doing this because you are not well organized, or blah blah blah. Let's start to find this is a little suggestion to friends here. They want to create a team for their ideas. Try to find his best skill, to find what he's really good at, and make him work only on that thing. Only on that thing. Don't expect that somebody that has not that particular talent will start to do it. So that's why it's important to have a team, to build a machine with many different people. They have they give their contribution to the same idea, to the same dream. So
And
with a
I
team,
want
you can do
to
whatever
add,
you want.
I want
Huh?
to add, I want to add, I think one little point to what you said now. Guys, it's not just about skills. Soft skills are very important too. How you can interact with people, how you can stay in a team, how you can express yourself as a human being, how you manage relationship. This is very important because I know a team with not the right person can destroy you, and you have to choose very carefully and surround yourself with people that can be loyal to you and exactly.
Anthony is right. In Disciples, executive assistant in 20%.
This is incredible, really. Anthony, you're amazing.
You're like a fountain of ideas. I already told you, Anthony.
But so, for as you see, find one person that did something by himself. No, there is no one. Napoleon,
So,
Julio Cesare,
yeah.
Socrates. I don't know. You need a team.
Alexander the Great.
Yes, and just a second. Let me finish this thing.
Attila.
It's really important. If you have a dream and you don't know how to
Achieve it.
how to make it real, you need a team. But before you have a team, you need to learn how to sell your idea to the team. If you don't know how to convince people, if you don't know how to sell your idea, you can stay home and play for your grandma. I'm talking to my friends that they want to create. I'm talking to musicians, my friend. They say, I have this project, I have this idea, this CD, but why do I have to believe in your idea?
I
So
think we could
first of all,
replace the term "sell" with "present" because maybe some people might associate.
no, let's not afraid. Let's not afraid of words.
We're
This-
not afraid, but maybe for people who are listening, if you dislike, you shouldn't dislike it, but if you do at the moment, then think of the term "sell" instead as "present." You have to become good at presenting yourself and your idea, and I think this ties back into what Antonio was saying about soft skills. In fact, I think that an equal of a soft skill is your ability to present yourself and interact with other people. And in fact, I believe that soft skills are so important that there are certain soft skills that you can develop to a point that they become a true hard skill. And I think examples of this are the fact that we all think about certain people, whether they be people that we know personally or whether they be people in the public eye, that we think are maybe not particularly intelligent. We look at those people and we say, I'm definitely smarter than that person. And yet, this person maybe is more successful. And so when you observe this, then you have to realize that intelligence and skills and work and practice, since we're talking about practicing on the piano, all of these things, all these hard skills are not the only elements that influence success. But soft skills too, when they are truly developed, influence your success. In fact, potentially your people skills, which is a soft skill, might be the element, the skill that influences your success the most.
Exactly, because can influence your environment, and then can influence the action that surrounds you, and then can affect your future. This is very important.
I would like to add one thing, Nicola. You are right when you say that maybe the word to sell it's a little bit, there is this misconception that selling is something bad, but that's because
I want to make clear that I agree with you, Francesco. I was just
I know, but I'm explaining talking with you. It's like I'm talking to the speaker of the parliament. I don't want to directly talk with somebody anyway. So there's this misconception that selling is a bad thing, but that's because there were people, they didn't know how to sell. To sell, it means to serve somebody, to listen. A great salesman is a great listener. So you have to listen to the needs of your prospect. And who's your prospect if you're a musician? Can be the audience, can be an artistic director, can be the conductor of an orchestra. So start to think in this way and be a good listener. Listen, and try to fulfill that need. So that's why I say, let's not be afraid of the word to sell. We sell emotions. We can be hypocrite, come si dice? Hypocrites, yes, and say that we don't want to make money with music. No, yes, we want to make money with music. That's what we want. Otherwise, it's not a profession, it's an hobby. Go and play for your grandma if you don't want to make money with music.
Yeah.
And so, if you want to make money with music, you have to sell emotions. That's what we do. It's like you go for a pizza. Why you go to Domino's Pizza or you go to Pizzeria in Naples, the best pizzeria in Naples? Not because you are hungry, but because you are looking for an emotion. You want to feel that the taste of those tomatoes, the mozzarella, the basil, the air in the restaurant. The same thing with music. You have to understand what is your unique value proposition, what is the need and how to fulfill that need. You see, all this kind of, this way of thinking is not taught. It's not taught in schools. It's not in the families. For example, let's say this small thing, and after I shut up. And the fact we always being taught not to ask. So the kid that wants a toy, for example, and starts to cry, to demand, I want this thing, blah blah blah, and starts to fare capricci, come si dice?
He throws a tantrum.
Exactly. Why is he doing? He's doing it because he doesn't know how to sell his idea. He doesn't know how to convince the parents that they should give this toy to.
You should say, well, if you give me
Exactly.
this
So
toy,
the kid becomes emotional. The kid becomes emotional. And also the parent becomes emotional. So shut up, don't say anything. Now go to your room. I don't want to know anything from you. Instead, what I will do, I will ask to my kid. I will ask, give me 3 good reasons why I should give you what you ask me for.
Ragiona!
Yes, I said, give me 3 reasons, good reason, and I will give you what you are asking me. So in this way, you are preparing your kid for a bright future.
I think we lost Antonia, and I think maybe she'll reconnect. But then, what if your son turns to Anna?
Of course, no, but just a second. But also, she
we
knows
have to work in team.
The fact is that she knows also how to sell. So she's not somebody that has no weapon, against the.
Okay, you didn't convince me. Lost case. You didn't close the sale.
So musicians, they are not prepared to ask. They don't want to go and present because what people will think about me. Have you ever seen a dog chasing for a frisbee?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you think that the dog thinks what other dogs might think of him if he doesn't catch the frisbee? No, the dog goes and give all himself to catch the frisbee. And if he doesn't catch the frisbee, okay, I will try again. Doesn't matter. But the most important thing is that you start to run to catch that frisbee. I don't know if it makes sense, but musicians, they should
it
all
makes
do the
perfect
same
sense.
thing.
I think that people are too preoccupied with what other people will think of them if they, for example, try something new and they fail, and they shouldn't, because the truth is that at the end of the day, this type of preoccupation, what will others think of me, it's something that in the future you will laugh at and hopefully not cry at. And what do I mean by that? So imagine a future where you're 60 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old, and you have not done those things that you wanted to do. You never tried, you never pursued that goal. And now your life, is, at least that opportunity, let's say, has ended. Your life hasn't ended, but the possibility to achieve that goal has ended.
We have
In that moment, she's back.
Sorry.
Hi, Antonia. So I was saying, in that moment, you would give anything to go back and put yourself out there, because you will no longer care about the possibility that other people might see you fail. So
Exactly.
think about what your future self would advise you to do in this moment.
I would like to add the last thing. When we say I don't want to ask too much, is that because you are not completely sold to your product? What do I mean by that? You really don't believe that you are the best choice for your prospect. And so if you believe, but really believe that you have a unique value proposition as a musician, I'm talking about, I'm talking, and you don't really believe that you are the best option, you cannot expect somebody hires you for a concert or other things. First of all, you need to believe in your product, and if you are really the best choice, you are the best thing that possibly exists. It's your responsibility to convince your prospect, because if you don't convince the prospect, you are actually damaging him. So do you see
First you have to convince yourself
Exactly.
that your product is worthwhile, and then only then to convince somebody else. Because if you don't believe in your, like, whatever your project is, or I don't know, whatever you are proposing, then nobody will believe in it.
but you must have at least 3 good reasons.
You know what?
I mean,
I actually notice sometimes I think that a certain idea is the truth, or a certain fact is the truth, and because I believe sincerely that it is truth, I am capable to convince other people that it is truth, or at least make them question themselves, because sometimes they know for a fact that I'm mistaken, and then that it's what I'm saying is not the truth, while I'm sincerely believing. It's not that I'm trying to to kind of twist them around my finger or something. Like, I do believe in what I'm saying, but maybe I just I just forgot the fact, or I don't know why I would think that is the truth. But I would be so convinced, and I would be so, like, sure in what I'm saying, that other people's like, yeah, maybe you're right. Like, let me check, because, like, you made me feel doubted. So it's not like I'm saying it's not because what I'm doing. Like, sometimes when you believe that the fact is the truth, and it be not this way, I mean, it's not good to try to convince other people in it. But if you really believe in something, it is a very, very strong weapon, and it's really strong tool. And if what you believe in is the honest to God fact, and if it's a truth, and if it's a good thing, plus you add your own belief and your own faith and your own energy, you can convince the world.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I think that actually, if you are really believe in your truth, in your product, or in your business idea, or in your unique value proposition as a musician, if you truly believe in it, you don't have to convince people, because it will be naturally. It's like you are recommending to a friend something that you really like, you don't
I would
have
say
to convince.
you become the actual you become an example.
Exactly.
It's something apparent. If you, for example, start, I don't know, a new diet, then people around, and you're getting results and you feel good and whatever,
Exactly.
then people around
Yeah.
you, even without you having to convince them that this is something they should do, they will notice this, and they will become naturally curious and ask you, well, hey, what are you doing? Can you maybe tell me about this?
Exactly.
Alright.
Demonstrations are the most powerful tools for,
Yeah, lead by example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Guys,
well.
thank
I
you
think
to be
we've
with
given
us.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for
Thank you.
this.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year to everyone, and
Really.
we will see you very soon. We are preparing new guests for you guys. There are like many new people are coming, and we are going to introduce them to you. And we
Bring
are
their knowledge
preparing
to
some new things, new formats and projects for you. So stay tuned. Check on
And I
us
want,
every other day for the updates. Yeah.
and I want
And let us know your
to
thoughts.
I want to say that all of this would not be possible without you.
Yeah.
With our community. And
God bless
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you,
Ivan.
Ivan. Yeah.
Ivan, I wish all your dreams come true. You are so special.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. To everybody.
Yeah.
May this 2023 become the year of the strength. Find the strength to question things. That's my wish for you. Find the strength to question things.
To fight for your best version, for the best version of yourself.
Bacio.
Very much. Well,
Grazie
thank you
mille.
all. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye.